I'm going to demonstrate for you and step by step with you through this, but just to give you a little bit of background about the red ass fly, it was like many flies, was probably fished by people for hundreds of years, and it originally was called red ass and partridge. So that's what this fly I've got in the vise is right now. Essentially looks like a partridge in orange if you're used to that. It's the old style fly. Still has the components that the red ass has in it, but a little bit different. And then what we know in our sort of our White River version of the red ass is called the red ass kelso. No relation. And it looks a little different because peacock is such a good material. This is what we're going to tie today. And it's partridge, peacock herl, and red thread. Not necessarily in that order. And you can jazz the fly up just a little bit if you want to and do some different things with it. This is one I tied while I was getting ready today, and it's got a glass bead for the tail, or for the hot spot.
I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see that. Not too far.
And then it also has a sharp-tailed grouse feather for a hackle instead of partridge. It's a little bit different look. You still have the soft hackle. You can use head feathers, whatever. So that's just a little bit different look. You can tie this in 12, 14, 16 sizes. You can tie it on a straight shank. I'm going to tie it today on a curved shank hook. But you can tie it on any of those sizes, 12, 14, 16. Typically a wet fly hook, something that's got a little bit of weight to it, not a dry fly hook, it's got a little bit of weight to it. Because you want to fish this fly, below the surface, typically without an indicator, and cast, across and down, and drift it with the current. And you might need to mend it a little bit to keep that drift working, and fish it out until it tails out. And wait until it tails out, because you're going to get a bite usually about the time it tails out. Once again, start your thread about one hook eye back from the front. Take your thread down just a little bit and cut off the waist. And then you want to run this thread, touching turns. All the way down the hook shank, because you're going to use that to help keep your material in place. Take it into the bend, and then come back forward, touching turns again, or overwrapping what you put down. And when you get to about where the hook point or the barb would be, you stop right there. And that's going to be your red ass, so to speak. Now the other material is peacock herl, just straight up strung peacock herl. Some people use the stuff on the stem. It's great. It's actually a lot better than strung peacock herl, but you get a lot more when you. I usually take about, for a fly this size, I will take three individual herls and pull them off the string, and try to even them up a little bit. And because peacock is so brittle on the ends, I always cut off maybe the first inch or so of those, and that gives me a nice even tip. And I just lay those things. Now, before I do that, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to give you an extra step because I think it's important to know the peacock herl will, one fish with a rough mouth will ruin the fly with peacock herl only. So I like to strengthen it a little bit by doing a little trick. And that is, I take a little bit of thread and make myself a loop. See what I just did? I took off about six inches of thread, 8 inches total maybe, and then I go back and make myself a loop and lock that loop in with a turn over it. Now the reason I'm doing, you're going to see why I did that in just a moment. And I just lay that peacock herl to the side of the hook and make a loose turn over it and get it caught. And then I just take it up to the top, and this gives it a little bit of cover. And I go up to where I started my thread, maybe just a little bit back of that. And to save my work, I always use a 1/2 inch. And that just keeps my thread from sliding down the hook and getting it running off the hook. Now I take my loop that I made and my peacock herl and I pull them together in the little cord that looks like this. And then I start twisting it. In fact, I use one of these little things to grab it. And then I twist it very lightly. Don't pull on it, just twist it. You can see what that's doing to the peacock herl. It's making a little chenille out of it almost. It's also putting that red thread right down the middle of it. And what you're going to see when we wrap this on there is that red kind of starts to shine through. You can also do that by tying in a piece of crystal flash to make it look like the red underbody. Then once you get it looking like you want it, and you start wrapping it just like you would chenille or something around the hook. And you want to kind of give it another little twist every so often. Keep that from coming unraveled. Watch your hook point. Don't catch your peacock on the hook point or it'll cut it for sure. Now can you see that red thread shining through that? Get up here and then I catch my peacock herl. My thread. Tie it down, then I cut off the leftover. How's that looking? All right. We want to get ourselves a good feather for our hackle, so we're going to use partridge for that. Now you want to get all the fluffy stuff off. Can you see what my feather looks like? You want to get all the fluffy stuff off. Prep your feather for that. So, okay. You want to. By prepping your feather, you need to get all the really soft fibers off the feather. And it starts beginning to look like this, getting a little bit smaller. Now, then you want to try to grab the very tip of the feather and start to pull everything down off the feather, just like this. Because we're going to tie it in by this tip. Now looking at that, that looks about, it might be a little bit long. Like I said, it's a little dark in here. Probably not dark for you, but and I take a little bit of feathers off of the, what would be the left side of the feather as you're holding it up. And that just keeps it from being too thin. Then you want to take the tip of this thing and cut a little of it off and leave yourself just something that looks like that, just a little triangle. Lay that down by your hook, and you want your feather tied in so that the curve of the feather goes over the hook. And lay that on the hook, a loose turn and capture it. Keep your I've got my feather secured. I'm going to take my thread down close to the hook out. And I'm going to catch my feather with my handy dandy hackle pliers. And I'm going to hold it up vertical like this, and then I'm going to stroke those feathers back. Every time it comes to the top, I'm going to do that again. And I'm winding the stem right in front of itself as I'm taking it up. Keep all those fibers of the feather pointed backwards.
Winding forward?
Winding it forward over, yeah, right in front of itself.
While Dewey's doing this, let me mention one thing. It's very easy to pull that feather out from underneath that thread.
Yeah, you don't want to be pulling on it. You just want to lift it straight up. I did what I didn't want to do, and then you catch some of the feather. And once I've secured that stem of the feather to the top of the hook, reach in and cut that off. Now I want to make a little cup with your fingers. Pull that feather back and make yourself a nice little head right here in the front, out of the thread. Not too big. And that gets the feathers trained back just a little bit. Then you do maybe 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Stretch that knot down really well. Get the thread off. A little glue on it. My glue's not stopped up. There we go. A lot of people don't glue the heads of their flies. I do, because that's the first place it comes apart. So I always put a little glue on it to make sure that it doesn't get in the eye of the hook. I'll take my bodkin and got to make sure that the feather is distributed properly around the hook. And that's the finished fly. Go ahead and fish that.